Hi, it's Super Sam time again. I should get some intro music or something, shouldn't I? Oh well, one day. So in this episode, what we're going to do is we're going to take the scene that we made last time and we're going to export it as a video file. Now, once we've got that video file exported, we can upload it to YouTube and share it with the world. Yay! And it's pretty easy. So let's get to it. So, how are we going to do this? Oh, I'm going to get out of the way. Just excuse me. So we come back to our old scene. I've just double-clicked on it. And great. We've got our go into record mode, out of stream mode. So I'm using live streaming straight to YouTube. We're not going to do that for this demonstration. If you make a mistake, it's out there. Everybody sees it. So what we're doing here is we're recording and making these recordings, making sure they're all right, doing any edits, and then we're going to export this recording. So that's what the difference between record and stream. Stream goes straight to the YouTube without any buffering, but you need some pretty juicy hardware for that. So how do we export this video? Well, we've got the recording, and just a reminder, if you haven't seen the previous one, he's doing some dancing. We don't have a background for him at this stage. We're going to leave that for a later time. And so how do we export it? Now, I'm just going to cheat. I'm going to click on the scene up here. I'm going to set the duration to 5 seconds, just because then it makes the export a bit quicker. We don't want to bother waiting for that. Okay, so then we can just do a file, export, video via Adobe Media Encoder. Now, alpha means it will keep transparencies in the video, and so it uses a slightly different format for that. That's can be useful if you want to layer different videos on top of each other in something like Premiere Pro. We're not going to do that. We're just going to upload to YouTube, so we're just going to pick the first one, which is more normal. And what it does is it says, okay, where do I want to store it? I'm going to stick it off in an Adobe Character Animator directory. That'll do. Scene Wookie clean. Click Save. Just ask me the file name it's going to create. And in the background, it's starting up a new program called Adobe Media Encoder. What Adobe Media Encoder does is it knows all sorts of different media formats. And so it's going to write them out in one of those different formats. We're just using, here's a little icon down here. Not sure it hasn't come to the front yet, but it'll come up in a moment. We're going to use a format called MP4 or H.264 is the sort of standard name from it. And it's basically an MPEG file, very commonly used. Chug. Takes a little while to start up, unfortunately. And it's being a bit shy. It doesn't want to come to the front. So this is sort of like an external program, and it's going to take all that recording and it's going to generate a video file for us. So here it is starting up. This machine's got all sorts of things running on it all at once, so it's a little bit sluggish at times. This is actually the first time I've run it. Okay, so this is the important window over here. This is the jobs to be done. And so it's going to create this H.264. I can pick other different formats. Within a format, there's lots of different options. I'm not going to bother with any of that. I'm going to just keep all the defaults. I can just hit enter. Down here it says whether I'm going to use hardware acceleration. And the answer is yes, I do want GPU acceleration. And then so I got hit the green button. And so most of the time this thing will fly it up. Once it's loaded up, it just stays in the background. And you hit that button down here, we can see that it's, let's just drag this up a little bit. It's estimating how long it's going to take. records how long it's taken so far. And it's generating this thing. Now you might notice there's a little bit of yellow still around the edge. So it's an indication that I might not have done enough refining around the edge to try and get rid of all that yellow. That was why we're doing that masking around the edge. We might give it another go. But anyway, chugging along, almost finished. And we're done. So now it's created that output file. I can just click on it there. So it's an MP4 file. Because it's Windows, I can double click and it'll start up a default player. Now I didn't record any sound for this one, remember? It was just the movements. So once this loads up, poor little machine thinking very hard at the moment. You can do it, machine. I believe in you. Gee, really is thinking pretty hard. All I did was ask you to play an MP4 file. It's only 5 seconds long, computer. You can do it. So, well, for the reasons thinking about it, the other sorts of ones that are sometimes cute is animated GIF. So if you want to create an animated GIF, you can do it from this program. I would not make it too big. If you do really high resolution, it's a dog. But there's various different formats here. Oh, finally. Gee, that didn't take long, did it? And there's our video file. Cool. Doesn't look quite so bad here with the yellow around the edge, so it's got a yellow tinge. But anyway, there we are. We've created a video file. So I'm just going to minimize that. There's the actual file. All I'd had to do was to click on this path name here and open up Explorer to find the file. Obviously, I'm running on a Windows machine here. And, oh yes, to upload it to YouTube. Well, what we do is we bring up a web browser. Where's the window gone? We go to something like YouTube. And there's a little icon up here to create a video. You say upload video. And come over. And you drag the file. And it starts uploading it. Pretty darn easy. Obviously, clean up the title, put in a bit of description, put any tags onto it. I'm not actually going to publish this one in the end. But you get the idea. That's all it was to it. You just create the MP4 file, and you got to have a YouTube account created, of course, and then you can just drag it in there, and it'll load it up, and there it is. Because it was such a short one, it was fairly quick, and I just clicked publish, and it'd be live. Okay. Well, I'm just going to clean up because I don't need that anymore before I remember. Oops. Click, delete. Yes, go away. That window can go away. Anyway, that was just, oh, there is actually one other thing I wanted to show you. What you can also do is, in the new version of Character Animator, is you can enable what's called a work area. What this allows you to do is to drag out this to start and end. So if I come over here and I set the duration to 20, I can pick a work area that's just a subset. Let's go from 5 seconds up to about 7 seconds. And now, if I do a file export via media, it's going to come up with another file. If I hadn't deleted it, it would have put number 2 on the end for me. You can see the previous job is still there. But when I fire this one off, see, it started much quicker this time because character animal was already running. The whole video will only be that short range I picked of about 2 seconds or so. So it's coding pretty darn quickly. Check. Bing. Just double clicked on there, double click here. Oh, I think it might be the file syncing. I've got file syncing on in the background. I wrote it to the wrong directory. That's why this is taking so long. The file syncing code is trying to upload it to the cloud first. And the whole video is only 2 seconds long. So using this trimming ability or this work area you can control, it's actually really useful, because if I was over here, if I was near the end and I started doing a recording, I've actually got to have something turned on to record. Select the puppet, turn on the dragger. Record. It makes the duration longer, whatever the recording is. And so it's easier to sometimes record a bit beyond the end. So by using this facility, this enable work area, you can chop out part of a video and it will remember that. And if you record beyond the end of this, it'll still remember it. So it's quite convenient. Oh, it's got some nice little features here, like set scene duration to playhead, trim the thing. Anyway, there's a few different things there that can be quite useful. Well, that's all I wanted to talk about in this one. In fact, I talked about more than I was planning to. So we go click, let's clean everything up. That was a crash course into creating an Adobe video file. A MP4 file from Character Animator. You can just export a scene. You can actually have multiple scenes, and you can export each scene individually, and then you can use something like Premiere Pro or Adobe Rush to concatenate the different clips. So you always export a scene or part of a scene into a video file. Well, I hope that was useful. So it's pretty easy to get a first video up and going and getting it exported to YouTube. I hope you have some fun with this. See ya.